Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to yet another, after 2 weeks, another PSGL video back on F1 2021 for the Silverstone round. And just to jump straight into it, and first of all I'll address last week. I wasn't able to race in last week's PSGL Italy because of other commitments that I had to put my effort and energy into at the time, but we are back on the back in the game, so it's super exciting. Honestly, I was really excited, but I would say not worried, but like in a sense of unease because I hadn't really had much time to prepare, so I wasn't too sure how it would go. But yeah, that's I guess to address that. But as you may have guessed or seen at the start of this video, as I'm currently in my first flying lap on the softs, we are doing short qualifying instead of full qualifying. Now, there was sadly some issues in the lobbies and stuff that we were doing. We went through Q1, got into Q2, and all of a sudden we had issues, so we had to sadly back out of it all and do a short qualifying. So hence we are here on our first run of 3 on the soft tyres. So yeah, just sort of like a lap by lap progression. This is all for pole position. We don't have any sort of knockout phases to think about. The weather's all dry, so it's a straight shootout, and here we are heading into the final sector. Getting the apex nicely hooked up, nice and smooth. So far it's been a relatively clean banker lap, getting onto the brakes, holding 4th gear, using a bit of inside curb, short shift into 5th, getting the exit, but then we got a huge oversteer that I had to hold the huge for because yeah, we are really unhappy with that, but that cost us quite a lot of lap time sadly. But yeah, put a lot of dependency on the next run to get ourselves a safe banker. But yeah, considering our preparations, honestly the pace was not too bad. So at this stage anyway, so I mean we are just hoping to progress stage by stage into turn 4 now, I believe. Getting a nice exit this time, so it's not been too bad a start to the lap. Could be a little bit better, but definitely a bit of an improvement. Yanni Tomla setting the fastest lap, and someone took out the 50-metre board there, which made life really difficult, which meant we went way too deep into Luffield, got the line all wrong, so we definitely lost quite a lot of time. And as you can see, we lost so much on the delta because we were up quite a bit, and we lost at least half a tenth. That's bare minimum, probably more. So yeah, we have to push quite a bit to make up the rest of this lap, going flat out through Cops Corner, around what is actually my favourite track. So definitely one I wanted to perform well at. Going through Magus and Beckett's really well hooked up through there, getting the DRS open. We have a car in front of us. Thankfully we're not getting any slipstream or dirty air from the car, because that would definitely not be useful. But we're purple through the middle sector, heading round into Stone now, getting the car hooked up, planting the throttle, using all the road as we can, heading into the final section of the lap, braking late, 4th gear, getting the car nicely transitioned, nice and smooth, short shift to 5th, this time no oversteer, using all the road that we can, saving the distance to the line, cutting it tight, and there we go.
That's
bang,
what I'm talking
provisional
about, man.
pole.
We had a freaking huge slip. Ah.
So yeah, as you can see, I was really happy to just get that banker lap in, but I knew it wouldn't be good enough for poles. So here we are for the final run of qualifying. And actually, I forgot to activate the ERS, so I lost 200s at the start of the lap, but it wasn't like anything that was going to end the lap. But every little bit counts. So heading into sector 1, braking in a bit, holding 4th into 3rd, and we understeer way too wide, not getting a good line. Trying to hold the car, trying to hook it all back up smooth, and the exit a bit more down by 300, so that's not an excellent start to the lap, but we know it's still all to play for because we've got a lot of time we can gain this next I can't speak, section. So missing the apex a little bit, but we know we're going to gain a bit back here because we got the line wrong the last time. Still not that perfect through there, correcting the car a bit, and yeah, that's the thing, we didn't really gain much sadly. We only gained 200, so so far, honestly, the lap has not been good. We haven't really maximised it as well as I would have liked. There was too much on the table. So heading into Magus and Beckett's, we know we need to hook it up. Jarno Altmaier taking provisional pole from us, but here we are, bang, we improve through the middle sector at Magus and Beckett. So we are definitely on to hopefully improve this lap. But now heading into the final setup, but we just start to suffer with understeer, and that's too much, and that's our lap invalidated. It was Probably not going to improve anyway because we managed to hook up the final sector too well the time before, and yeah, that was it.
Unlucky.
So we never managed to hook the lap up. We're quite, I mean, to be honest, it was disappointing because we weren't able to improve
any
on our second run. Definitely, yeah, more we should have had, but that's just, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You either get it or you don't. So anyway, P4 for the race, which is still quite good considering it was our second run that stood. So yeah, Fredrik Rasmussen on pole position, Jarno Opmeer in P2, Sebastian Job in P3, 5 red lights on your screen, and they're out. Super short shifting off the line, opening that ERS, and there we go, up alongside Sebastian, up the inside, into turn 1, around the outside, round Farm Curve, and now into Village, heavy onto the braking zone, and that is us very nice and comfortably into P3, right in the mix, right in play, that's where we need to be. So going now round the loop onto Aintree, now ERS opening with no DRS, obviously it's lap 1 on board for the whole lap down the Wellington straight. Now heading down to Brooklands, just trying to keep ourselves nice and smooth. There's no point in taking any risks here. We just need to find our feet, understand the car balance, trying to see sort of how we are, if you know, we're struggling or if we're, yeah, a little bit of snap of oversteer there, but yeah, just trying to get a rhythm basically. But yeah, just using a little bit of ERS, trying to keep the pressure on, trying to keep everything in touch, trying to make sure that people aren't getting too comfortable around us, or you know, we equally getting ourselves into sort of a comfortable rhythm. So heading now down to Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel for the first time in this 26 lap race. 7th gear now down to 2nd. We gained quite a lot on Jarno ahead surprisingly through that section there. So yeah, just keeping everyone on our toes where we can, and yeah, bit of a train all the way behind us as well with Sebastian Job and Danny Moreno in P4 and 5 respectively. And yeah, so far so good to the start of this race. We're definitely in the mix, and albeit it was just lap 1, the race pace thus far, considering I had not really much indication prior to the race of how everything would be, the race pace is actually quite good. So, you know, lots to be positively buoyed by. You know, we just got to get our heads down, start knuckling into it. So yeah, start of lap 2 now. Sebastian taking a different line to us behind us. I don't know if that was just him going deep or not, but yeah, getting a nice short shift up to 4th in the exit. Bit of DRS, it's lap 2, ERS, and yeah, heading across the line to start lap 3. Danny Moreno setting the fastest lap in the train of all of the cars, but we have a VSC, as you guys can't see it yet, but we do have a VSC deployed, which is, yeah, slowed everything down a bit, which lasted for around a third of the lap, and there we go. Unhinged again, trying to hook it up through Maggots and Beckett, and we are actually very close to the back of Jarno Opmeer. DRS is enabled, we are pushing him on. DRS and ERS is enabled. Fredrik's going to have to go defensive, but he doesn't. Jarno goes up the inside on lap 3 of this race. We are just going to sit back, we don't want to take too many risks, try and make sure we're, you know, staying there for when it's relevant in the race, hugging the inside, just backing out of it nice and early, making sure that we're not taking any risks, backing out the throttle just to make sure we don't go back into the back of Jarno's car. So yeah, a little bit of a fight kicking up in this race already on lap 4 and lap 3 even as well. Purple and Sector 1 on this lap, but yeah, here we go again, all of us very close. We were really pushing the front guys relatively well, I'd say. We kept our ERS well, but we know this time if we push Jarno, he will have to go for Freddie, and then the moves will begin to shape. So Jarno Opmeer going up the inside of Fredrik Rasmussen on lap 4 into Stowe, coming round to end the lap. We actually get a phenomenal exit. Fredrik struggling, so we're going to go round the outside of Fredrik Rasmussen, breaking late into the, I think it's Vale, now into Club, but Fredrik doesn't leave his room!
Freddie!
And that is us round. Now we have to react quickly, we've got to spin the car around and get going. This race is not over by a long shot. 22 laps left on the board to run. Rear tyres are completely cooked. As you can hear, we're quite disappointed, but quickly the head gets back down again. Rear end is completely cooked here, as you can see, and we can actually get a track limit warning for that, which is a shame. But yeah, car is very hot right now, and yeah, trying to get ourselves back in a rhythm. So sadly, we had a little bit of a squeeze from Freddie, but I can confirm as well that, you know, Freddie messaged me after the race and apologised for it. So there's no issues at all in that respect. You know, Freddie is ultimately one of the best and most fair, clean racers there is when it comes to wheel-to-wheel combat. So, you know, there is no issue there at all. I mean, these things sadly happen for us, but you know, that's just the way it goes. So on to lap 9 now. You saw us repassing Paris behind us a few laps ago, but sadly the softs were completely gone. Like the mediums at this race were so much faster. So we were struggling a lot, and as you can see, Paris now just flying back past us. So we make the decision as we come round Stowe Corner on lap 9 to dive into the pit lane to get ourselves onto the medium strategy. The tyre wear wasn't that high, so we wanted to get ourselves onto that medium. Now we are still a very large part away from the leaders ahead of us. So as you can see, Jan Ortme and Fredrik Rasmussen are leaving the pits, where we are in pit box, not leaving the pits, but driving down the pit lane right ahead of us there as we get in the pit box. So yeah, anyway, back into this race. It's not over until we say it's over. We'd never ever give up. So you always have to keep fighting, because for all we know there can be a safety car, or for all we know everyone starts fighting ahead of us. So we need to keep pushing and keep our heads down, because anything, and usually everything does kind of happen in these races, you know. So yeah, on to lap 11 now. Philip Prejenader ahead of us on the sub tyres, struggling quite a bit. We caught him up quite quickly, as obviously we have a lot of other drivers on the mediums that pitted around us out in a gaggle ahead of us, which we need to catch up. But they're over, I believe the gap was actually, yeah, as you can see there, 7 seconds. So we need to catch over 7 seconds to get back up to the pack ahead of us, the leading pack, excluding obviously the alternate strategy runners that started on medium. So the actual pack that we are fighting, or we are relevant to in this race, is over 7 seconds ahead. So yeah, our work is cut out, but getting past Philip Prejenader there, and we have Fabrizio Donoso ahead of us now as well, who we get into the DRS of, which is very, very important. Because what me and Fabrizio will probably now have to do is work together to try and catch the cars ahead. So Samuel Bean ahead of us, pulling to the left, letting us both go, which was, I mean, unbelievably generous of him, so thank you very much. But yeah, cracking on with this lap. We are purple in sector 1. With the DRS assistance, of course. Now we are onto the back of Fabrizio. We managed to catch up to Fabrizio, who I believe had an off because of something in the race. I'm not exactly sure what, but anyway, in the DRS now, Fabrizio 5.4 seconds now to the back of Danny Moreno. So we've actually caught them by just under 2 seconds. So you know, progress is being made, but more has to be made. But now Jake Benham, who was on the alternate strategy, has came out the pits and is in 3.3 seconds away from us, and I didn't make any sense there. But anyway, catching up to Fabrizio, we decide to go up his inside, because that is the leading pack ahead of us. You can see it, chat. I've done that again. I'm sorry. You can see it, viewers. Look on the minimap. Look ahead of us. That is the leading pack. That is the relevant pack we are fighting in this race. We were so far behind, and now we are catching. Whether that's because of them fighting, most likely, but we have definitely been pushing this race. Our pace was very, very strong. We never gave up, because, you know, we didn't want, and you can see me and Fabrizio weaving there, because we want to work together. We don't want to blow any chance. We want to get back in this race. There's still 10 laps left. So ultimately, you know, we're just got to keep hunting to get in that DRS. So Fabrizio setting the fastest lap of the race now. So this little partnership we've got going on is working rather well. Sadly not for Lewis Welch though, because he is now round in the Red Bull. I think he had a collision, unfortunately, which is a shame to see.
Okay, clear.
You know, the pad goat that he is. But yeah, cracking on to lap 17. Fabrizio is completely flat on ERS, whereas we have half the battery remaining. So we, you know, cruise back past again. Fabrizio will then just tow along with us, and yeah, 2.2 seconds ahead to Danny Moreno. So that is the gap we need to catch. But as we can see here, Fredrik Rasmussen is off the track and rejoining, and it looks like he's heading off through Valen Club. So yeah, I don't know. I don't honestly know what happened, but as you can see as well, he has 0 ERS. His rear end is all over the place, and I know now that he doesn't have DRS on the car ahead. And if I want any chance of getting past Fredrik, I need to do it now, because if he gets DRS and gets his composure back and gets the temperatures under control, it's kind of curtains for me. So that's DRS open, that's ERS enabled, and that is me going up the inside of Freddie Rasmussen. So up into back into the points after everything that's happened in this race. So cracking on with it now, and yeah, that's us past Fredrik now, and now we are so close to getting back into DRS of the train ahead. After being over 7 seconds back, we are literally on the edge of getting in DRS, which alone was so satisfied in this race. The comeback we made in this race was really, really strong, and our pace was great. So, you know, lots of positives to take even up to this stage. Pushing through Magnus and Beckett's purple in the middle, the first sector, sorry, not the middle sector. DRS enabled, and there we go. And Frederick Rasmussen in the wall as well, which, yeah, I think he must have lost it on the curb, which is quite an easy mistake to do actually. Or I don't know if he had a technical issue or not, but fastest lap of the race. So we are giving it literally everything to be in this race right now. And, you know, it was so much adrenaline, so much, you know, so much push in this race. I mean, I was giving it so much to even just, like, you know, to give it a go. So yeah, definitely when I was given everything. Now, on to lap 19. We are in the DRS and we are trying our best not to completely burn our ERS, because what I noticed as well is in the train of cars ahead of us, a lot of them had a flashing rear tail light, and what that means is they are completely empty on ERS. They have very, very little ERS remaining when you see that red light flash, which means if I, well, you know, count my cards and play them all correctly, then, you know, it's going to look pretty good for us. So yeah, we're not too worried. We're only half a second behind Danny. Jarno up me as well ahead of him, so we're just playing the long game. And by long game, I mean 7 laps, but you know, you get my point. So yeah, on lap 19, of course, heading into the final sector. All single file ahead of us for the time being, but let's see how long that lasts for, to be honest, because it was quite a action-packed race. I mean, a lot happened, so yeah, Fabrizio was still there behind us, 9/10 back. He was falling away a little bit, but yeah, he's still there, he's still hanging on, probably recharging ERS just like me, and we're now within 3/10 of Danny Moreno, so we've caught him up a little bit, not massively, but we are a little bit closer. But as you can see ahead, we have, I believe it's Jake Benham on soft tyres going round the outside of, I believe it's John Evans in this race, so yeah, cars are starting to fight, gaps are starting to close, DRSs are being opened and ERSs are being deployed, so it's all starting to kick off. The cars are going around side by side out ahead of us, they're going round the outside. You can see JKB making a move up into, I believe it's P4, and look how many cars are within such a short space. Everything's going to start to come alive in a moment, so we need to be there, we need to be relevant, and we need to be able to capitalise on anything that comes our way in this race. So still cars fighting ahead of us. I think it's Cedric Tomei and John Evans fighting now as well, potentially, with ERSs being flashed, and I don't know what happened there on my screen, but you know, great work, Lucas. You can clearly edit video as well, but you know, keep going. Yeah, look how many cars are really close. We deploy a little bit of ERS, but we decided to call it off really early because there's no realistic chance for us to make an overtake. We need to be tactical. Jarno Opmir going round the outside of Cedric Tomei, who is flashing with ERS, who is also on the soft tyres, which means he's probably fallen off at this stage in the race. So, yeah. Starting to get swallowed up for Jarno Opmir, going around the outside of Cedric Tomei, Danny Moreno, all over the back of the two of them as well, ready to pick up any spoils that happen in between the two of them, and we're just sort of sitting there passively in the background waiting to see if an opportunity will arise. So up the inside, Danny Moreno into turn 3 at Village, now into the loop. They're probably still going to go side by side. Yes, they are. Danny Moreno round the outside, Cedric Tomei closing the line, forcing Danny Moreno a little bit wide. We are struggling to get on the traction because we're really pushing on a little bit, not using our ERS at the moment, but Danny Moreno coming back at Cedric Tomei. Is he going to go the inside? No, he's going the outside. Now he's going to push round the outside. Cedric Tomei flashing with ERS. Danny Moreno can't get the move stuck. We actually have to watch ourselves a little bit because we get really close to the back of Danny Moreno on lap 21 here. So pushing the ERS. Fabrizio Donoso on the back of us as well now, as we head now onto the DRS streak of, I can't speak, I'm speaking so fast, onto the back straight of lap 21. Danny Moreno up the inside of Cedric Tomei, who's flashing with ERS all the time. He is completely flat on his battery. Soft tyres fading, we are pushing with the ERS, he goes the inside, we go the outside, we're damn late on the brakes, going around the outside into the Vale chicane, into Club, getting the inside line, and that is us up into P8 ahead of Cedric Tomei. Fabrizio Donoso getting the move done as well behind us. So, oh, that's the fastest I've spoken I don't know how long, but anyway, Danny Moreno now onto the back of John Evans, lap 23 that we're cutting onto now. Plenty of ERS to play for us. We are pushing it now though, because we know John Evans is probably empty on ERS. Danny Moreno going to go to the inside into Stoke Corner. We're going to get the switch back, going to go up the inside. The gap is so tight onto John Evans. Using the ERS, trying to go round to the outside, but we don't really get much space, and we're sideways going into Vale, completely drifting, and we somehow hold the car. I have no idea how I did it, but we did it. And Fabrizio also going up that side of John Evans, losing the car, and then I'm going to lose my voice, going side by side with Fabrizio, so a legal overtake somehow, but yeah, having to get the position back with Fabrizio closing the door, and then nearly losing the car again. So in a space of corners, an absolute madness has happened. We've nearly crashed like 2 or 3 times, and yeah, we somehow survive all of that chaos. So yeah, but as you can now see, we fell back from Fabrizio and Donoso, and the reason for that is because we sadly picked up front wing damage in all of that chaos. So after all of that effort, after that huge comeback to be in the contention for a really good result, we end it, as you can see, with the chronic understeer through Stowe. Cedric Tomei taking the position off us, dropping down to P10. So after all of that, the craziness of this race, the turmoil we went through, the comeback, the adrenaline, everything that was thrown at us, sadly it's going to end with a bit of front wing damage that we really couldn't control. Sadly, we weren't left any space. So Patrick Sipos is your winner, lap 26 of 26, crossing the line, and it's P8 after everything that happened, the penalties applied, and I am flat. I have nothing left after that race. We gave it so much. We pushed so hard. Even in this commentary, I'm completely
to finish 6 seconds from the lead.
Yeah,
after all of that,
completely empty.
After all of that, to finish 6 seconds off the lead, man.
I was so, pumped up after that, but that was definitely one of the most energy-consuming races I've done in a while. But wow. On to the next one. Let's keep our heads high. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I hope to see you guys in a future PSGL video, as the video conveniently cuts off during this voiceover, so you're looking at a black screen while I'm talking. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys in a future PSGL video, and I hope you enjoyed the race. Never give up, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Take care.